All right, let's turn it to our team of the month. Tom, why don't you go ahead and get us started with your nominations?
Well, as is kind of going to be the case, there's some crossover here. My first team of the month nominee will be Northern Illinois, a team that came into the 2021 season with a win total posted by the books of 4. It won 4 games in October alone. It's 4-0 in the MAC. It is probably going to a bowl game this year. It almost has the MAC West wrapped up already, and everybody else in that division has 2 losses. Northern Illinois has beaten 4 of them, obviously, and so they've got a 3-game lead on a lot of teams. So I think the Huskies deserve to be nominated for Team of the Month. And my other Team of the Month is the reason that Brian Kelly shouldn't have been nominated for Coach of the Month. Cincinnati. They had a couple games this month where they had to win to really keep their playoff hopes alive and to give themselves a solid credential base for it. And they did it. I mean, they went on the road and they beat Notre Dame in South Bend. So that's like a huge win to me, even though Notre Dame might not be the team that we've seen make the playoff the last few years. It's still a 1-loss team that is still in contention for a playoff spot. And its only loss is at home, Cincinnati.
I'm going to go Pitt. In the month of October, Pitt, they were only a week or 2 removed from Western Michigan beating them, which was pretty embarrassing. Although, I understand somewhat fluky. They go at Georgia Tech. That's not a good Georgia Tech team, but it's a decent team, right? They're like we all agree, they're like a top 50 team, top half team in college football. They go on the road and win by 31.
That's a Georgia Tech team that's favored against Virginia Tech and might put an end to the Justin Fuente era, in case it's not already done.
Yeah, and then they go on the road again, 28-7 at the Hokies. Then they beat Clemson 27-17. This is kind of a leave no doubt month for Pitt. Narduzzi is letting the offense cook. The defense continues to play really well. Like, this is one of the best months I think anybody had in the sport.
I had 2. I had Ole Miss. I mentioned that before for what they did after, but they lost to Alabama in the month of October. So that one that kind of gives me a little bit of pause. I had Michigan, a team that we've looked at for a long time. And I would say like the winner for the month of October should be whoever wins this weekend between Michigan and Michigan State, because both of them have had really impressive wins. I'll give Michigan the slight edge over winning in Lincoln. Pretty dominant fashion against Wisconsin. That was like that kind of hurdle they had to get over after getting run through by them the last couple times they've met up. I think Michigan is probably the team I would lean to over the 2 in that state.
Can I give 2 shout outs to programs that won't win?
Was one of them UTSA? Because I want to make that an official nomination.
No.
Okay.
That team could win. UNLV and Vanderbilt. Okay. Now, they're not getting the wins here, which, although I think Vandy's UConn win did come, and obviously like we have the tie to Barton here, but like Vandy is playing better football, like considerably better football this month, even like relative to opponent, than they were in September. September was, not great. I know they had the win at Colorado State. It was whatever. Also, UNLV is like playing some teams kind of tough. They're not getting the wins, but like they're not getting blown out. So I'm seeing like actual improvement from those teams, even though I can't vote for them because they're not really getting any wins.
Fun stat for UNLV. They are 0-7, and they have led in 6 of their 7 games. They have led at halftime of 4 of them.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of that, because Arroyo is still looking for his first career win. He's 0-13 overall, but like both of you have mentioned, these last couple weeks, they've been right there. So do you penalize him for blowing it, or do you look at it and you say, lose big, lose small, win big, and that they're just on the journey right now?
What you do is you live bet their opponents.
I mean, Arroyo is probably on the list for the worst coaching decision of the month, though. That field goal he kicked when they were tied 20 on 4th and 1 from the 23. Like, what do you have to lose?
Chip, do you remember our fade UNLV principle?
Yeah, because it was fade Justin Herbert's offensive coordinator.
Exactly.
We saw Justin Herbert take off in the NFL, and we saw that the old Oregon offensive coordinator was a head coach. You're like, well, we're going to do that. We don't like the decision-making, the evaluation, the decision-making, not here for it. So UTSA was the one that I definitely wanted to throw in. It has not been mentioned yet. So with my other nominations, I will throw support behind Cincinnati and Pitt. The Ole Miss loss to Alabama makes it difficult for me to get all the way behind Ole Miss, but the great points are the way that this team has overcome injuries. You had the crazy game against Arkansas, the insane game against Tennessee, and then kind of take care of business. But the nature of that Alabama game when it was 28-0 at half, that kind of has me pedaling back a little bit. So wanted to add UTSA to the conversation, and I will also throw my support behind Cincinnati and Pitt. Now we got to make a decision.
I am pounding the table for Northern Illinois.
I'll pound the table for Pitt.
Pitt.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
I'll pound the table for Pitt.
I mean, is your team, Bud? Do you think that that's the one that stands out among this group?
I just think about the NIU thing, and I think they're doing a tremendous. It's great that they're getting there, but they've basically just been lucky in 4 coin flips, right?
Wow.
They have a 1-point win. They have a 1-point win, another 1-score win, a 2-point win, and another 1-score win.
Pitt
they could easily be 0-4 this month.
Pitt sits atop the Coastal Division with a Heisman Trophy candidate and a win against Clemson. Think about that statement if we would have said that at the beginning of the year.
Right. I will say, I bet
Clemson.
I bet NIU on the money line last week and was happy to cash. And I have dropped their power rating from the end of September to the end of October. I think they've gotten a little bit worse, despite the fact that they're 4-0 in the month. I don't think they're not showing improvement on how they play. I think they just can get lucky.
Oh man, that's got to be marginal, right?
Team of the month for beating 3
a
bad
little
teams.
bit.
Congratulations.
Like a field goal worse.
Yeah.
Wow.
Field goals significant. It's so funny looking at all the ratings of the MAC teams as they just slowly inch above and below each other.
Well, also last year, Chip, with the MAC, all those priors, we didn't really have anything. They only played each other, and it was just so funky.
No, I'm fine with Pitt if you guys want to win Pitt. I'm just pounding the table.
I like the way that Danny put it. At the beginning of the season, if you say that at the end of the month of October, Pitt is sitting first place in the ACC Coastal with the Heisman Trophy contending quarterback and a win over Clemson, that you're like, what, how? And you got to put it all together. So hats off. This is a Kenny Pickett podcast, and congratulations to Pitt. You are the Cover 3 podcast team of the month for October.
I do want to just, again, Pitt, congratulations. But why didn't Pitt win the team of the month in September?
Because they lost to Western Michigan.
Yeah, who's 2-2 in the MAC? Western Michigan. Who's 4-0 in the MAC? Northern Illinois. Pound the table.
Kanye, the award's already been given out. Sit down.
All right, listen, I'm gonna let her finish, but I'm just saying.
Can we talk about one team that did not come up in top player, top coach, or in top? I guess it was all player coach team.
SMU,
Virginia.
Ooh,
Since we gave out those awards to end September, they played September 30th, which was that Friday night game. They go on the road. They beat Miami. Then they beat Louisville on the road. Then they smoked Duke 48-0, and they also beat Georgia Tech. This team has been getting a whole lot better. Their offense is just absolutely incredible what they're doing. Broncos just totally screw it, let's chuck it deep, and it's working over and over again. I wanted to give those guys a shout out. Individually, they're not standing out enough to win any of these awards, but collectively, there's something good going on there.